Hey everybody, Damon with Southpaw Designs, and today we're going to take a look at a simple project that you can create with offcuts or scrap material. You never have to waste that scrap material again because you can use these little pieces to create small projects that you can sell or give away. I'm going to create it on a CNC, but you can easily create it with a bandsaw or a scroll saw. We're going to look at a series of small projects in the coming weeks that you can use to create your presence out there in the world. And they're things that we're going to create with offcuts, with scrap materials, so you can get more bang from your buck and not have a bunch of extra wood to throw away. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Okay, so for this particular project, we're going to start off with a piece of scrap, which is 14 inches by 6 inches. Now, to you, that may or may not be scrap, but the point is this is actually going to be two separate pieces. So all we really need is about 12 inches by 2 inches, which I would consider a scrap. Now, I'm actually not sure exactly what kind of wood this is. This is just a piece that I acquired. Seems to have a fairly loose grain. I'm wondering if it's some type of oak or walnut, but I'm not positive. I'm really not an expert on wood species. I mainly work with cherry, walnut, and then softwoods like pine and cedar. So if you have any idea what this one might be, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Okay, so I'm going to use some CA glue and tape to hold my material down since I am going to be cutting through. I'm also going to reinforce it with some screws. Let's go ahead and probe the X, Y, and Z. This part's optional, but I do recommend probing X, Y, and Z, at least the Z. And let's go ahead and start making the cuts. So for the first part, we're going to cut all the way through. Now this part's optional, but I think it's a neat little accent to put on there. And let's take out these extra pieces, which you can throw on the floor and use them to wake yourself up in the morning. Now let's go ahead and actually start cutting out our trivet. Now I did make one mistake right here. I originally designed this piece as 1/2 inch thick, and then I used a 3/4 inch board. Now the little dados that you see right in the middle have to be the width of your board. And it's at this point that I realized that I made a mistake. So now I'm going to go back to my software and I'm just going to create a couple of rectangles that are slightly wider. Now since the board is 3/4 of an inch, I recommend that you actually make those dados about 0.77, 0.78 inches thick, so they're slightly wider. Hey, and before we go any further, I do hope you'll take a moment and subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the like button down below. Likes, subscriptions, and comments are YouTube's way of knowing that you value this type of content, and it encourages YouTube to actually promote that content out there, which helps me to promote and grow this channel at no cost to you. All right, so since we still have everything placed on our spoil board, all we have to do is run this extra little piece, and that's going to give us that wider dado that we need right there. So these pieces will just seamlessly come right together. Now it's time to remove them from the spoil board, clean them up. Now let's just take them over to our spindle sander, clean them up a little bit. And I still like to use these little pads to give them a nice little individual sanding to get any kind of loose ends. And they fit together just like this. Now also, I'm placing a link to the SVG files for this particular project below. If you'd like to create it with the CNC, you can take those SVG files, create your toolpaths, and create this project. If you'd like to create a template for it, for use with a bandsaw or a scroll saw, you can also print out those SVG files and use them for that purpose as well.